Hello, my name is Christopher Hill. I'm the board chair and CEO of SindyXR. Welcome to SindyXR, the seamless integrated dynamics company. Over the next few minutes, what we're going to do is introduce you to the company, our mission, what we do, why we do it, and how we do it. You're going to hear from a few of our team members. You may hear from a few of our professional medical subscribers. You may even hear from a few of our wellness members that are involved with SindyXR. So at the end, you get a good sense of what we're doing and why we're doing it. We're on a mission ultimately to really foster the strength between the medical professional and what we call the wellness member. It may be somebody who's very young, who's just learning about various things around their medical condition. Maybe somebody who's older, who's dealing with issues that involve even end of life and everything in between.
Cindy, I'm ready.
So join us on our journey as we look to make a better world, a better community around things that we all shared, frankly, our shared experiences. In short, welcome to SindyXR. What's a wellness circle? Very simply, we work with wellness professionals, your doctor, could be other type of wellness, your nutritionist, to enable you to have a conversation using whatever technology you want, right? Online, VR, sometimes in person, to have a conversation. So what is that conversation? Well, the doctor, after your visit, can say, in between doctor's visits, I have some homework for you to do some reading, that's all great, that's all super. But in addition, the doctor is hosting a SindyXR Wellness Circle. And what that is a virtual, whatever maybe you want, conversation, about 50 minutes or so long, where the doctor invites in other patients that the doctor has, that have similar conditions. So if I just found out that we were pregnant, well, sadly, I found out that we have a diagnosed with cancer and everything in between. In between doctor visits is a very stressful time, very lonely time. And the ability in between the doctor's visit, which is one-on-one by definition, to attend a wellness circle with my doctor there, but other people that have a similar condition, so that we can share with each other, how are you sleeping? How are you eating? How are you coping? It's an extremely powerful thing. And frankly, with all due respect to reading and doing Facebook groups, it doesn't replace the human connection. In live, actually communicating with each other. And what we find is that the doctor who invites the patients in there, and about 8 people or so, small group environment, done virtually, the doctor sets up the topic and sets the conversation going, but then an amazing thing happens. Each of the patients start communicating with each other, and they start providing insight, frankly, that a doctor may not have. In fact, often doesn't. Wow, that's how you're feeling. And the only way to really communicate with each other is when there's like-minded people there.
Because I have a theory, it's a 5-device theory. And it's basically, I got 100% of my time, 365, 24/7. So where am I going to best use my eyes, my heart, my time? And essentially, I think that it's 5 things. I think that it's the large screen desktop. And I think that it's the small screen, sort of computer, fold, tablet thing. And then it's wearables. And then it's glasses and goggles. And if I look at that as 100%, if I look at that as 24/7, 365 days a year, I'm going to divide up my time. If I'm going to spend 90 or 95% of my time in the metaverse, using my LinkedIn profile or my Facebook profile or any other digital representation of myself, especially when it comes to my health, I want to pick which device, with precision, I want to pick which device is best at which moment for me.
SindyXR platform, from a technology standpoint, it almost sounds a little concerning. Do doctors have to do a lot of work to communicate with their patients, or is it something that perhaps we're streamlined and make it so that the doctor can really focus on better communications with their patients? Tell us a little bit more about the back end.
No, I mean, we're working, extensively to make that as seamless as possible, right? So that doctors and patients can be better together wherever, right? So we're working, constantly working, constantly iterating, constantly thinking about how can we improve that back end, right? To make sure that we don't put additional burdens on the physicians or the patients themselves, right? We want to make sure that everyone has a great experience. So on the back end, we've done extensive work to try to automate as much of that as possible, right? To make it as seamless as possible for them to come in and land, essentially, get the content that they want, that they're looking for, without having to jump through too many hoops. It is a work in progress, right? It is a work in progress. We still have a long way to go. But we're actively working on that.
And why did you come into SindyXR? What was your...
For me, I think SindyXR gives me opportunity to try to make technology not the big bad animal, to have find a way to get people to communicate with each other, to teach them because for me, helping others is like, in a way, helping my own personal well-being. So SindyXR gives me the opportunity to take the client side of it and make sure that their journey is as seamless as possible, to make them be the important part of the equation, and they are. However, with the professionals, it's also teaching the professionals what their clients need sometimes. And it's that communication between the professional and then the client with other clients. I could call them patients, but I prefer to call them clients and participants. So I think it's the whole community that we're creating, and that is what brought me to SindyXR.
People say, well, geez, can anybody do these sort of, online calls? Well, it turns out it's not easily done. Doctors are pretty busy, everybody's pretty busy. SindyXR has perfected the ability to easily spin up the wellness circles, whether it's an XR, VR, sometimes in person, and we're able then to enable the doctor and the patient in a group setting to communicate. And here's the last thing I will say on this. And people often say, what's the secret sauce? Why is this different and unique? And here's the answer. Because we have made it so easy for a doctor, a nurse, a professional to communicate not just with their patients within the circle or other circles that they may sponsor, but also to the broad base on the webinar, it turns out that we are extending the relationship between doctor and patient in between visits in particular. But here's the secret sauce. When you get a group of people together, live, communicating with each other, with like-minded fears, like-minded excitement, like-minded concerns, whatever it may be, from early childhood to what we like to call, the special years at the end when
Awesome life.
When you get a group of people, even just for a 15-minute, once a month discussion, and they're communicating with each other, all of a sudden they're sharing insights that you just cannot guess what they would be, because it's all individual, but then it's group shared experience. And all of a sudden, what happens is that as much as they depend on the doctor for everything, they now know they're in support of like-minded people. They develop relationships with like-minded people who have like-minded situations. And that dialogue extends, sometimes once a month, sometimes more than that. And that's a beautiful thing. And frankly, if SindyXR did nothing else but foster that communication between the physician and the medical when they need it, wherever they may be, particularly when they're in a situation where they may feel lonely, they may feel vulnerable, that's why we're here.